right, from sports to something entirely different. In our top story here, the war in Iran. We are awaiting a peace deal with the regime to be announced soon, which is expected to kickstart dialogue over Tehran's nuclear program. Meanwhile, closer to home, the Trump administration taking out a major threat to our homeland with a successful strike in Venezuela.
Rich Edson is live for us at the White House with the very latest. Good morning, Rich.
Hey, good morning, Carly, Griff, and Charlie. Well, President Trump says the United States has eliminated the leader of Tren de Aragua. The president says the U.S. Southern Command delivered a strike that executed Nino Guerrero Flores. The president says the U.S. coordinated, quote, with our friends in Venezuela, with whom we are working very well, and that, quote, as a result, Tren de Aragua terrorists no longer have safe haven in Venezuela or anywhere else. The timing of the strike is unclear. Prosecutors say he was co-leader of the gang for more than a decade and was indicted on racketeering, terrorism, drug, and other charges. Meantime, American and Iranian officials say they've made significant progress in negotiations on a ceasefire agreement. A senior administration official says the two sides are about 80 to 85% of the way there. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi writes a deal, quote, has never been closer. Pending its finalization, the media should refrain from entering speculation about its content. Specifics are unclear, though a senior administration official suggested an initial phase would extend the ceasefire for 60 days when Iran would reopen the Strait of Hormuz, agree to dismantle its nuclear material and ship it out of the country, and end its support for terrorist groups across the region. If Iran hits certain performance metrics, then it could receive access to billions in frozen assets. Vice President J.D. Vance says Iran will receive no funds or cash for signing a deal. They'd have to meet their obligations before seeing any economic benefits. Now, state media in Iran also announced that the funeral for the former and late supreme leader there, Ali Khamenei, will start on July 4th. It'll be a multi-day event. Back to you.
Wow, that's quite the date to choose. Yeah. Rich, you hear July 4th, you hear the supreme leader's funeral happening on that day. Is there a message in there somewhere, or is that reading too into things?
It's unclear. There was an original time frame that this was going to happen in the early part of this month, and that maybe it slid. There is an ongoing conflict in that country and in that region, so perhaps their preps got a little thrown off. But, yeah, unclear if it has anything to do with the 250th anniversary, which the planning and preps for is very noticeable around this city.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Rich Edson, live for us at the White House. Rich, thank you so much.
Thanks, Rich.
It really does seem like maybe more than a coincidence, but also may indicate that Iran really is serious about arriving at an agreement at the negotiating table so that they can actually have the peace to actually carry out the funeral.
Can I just dig into another part of Rich's report there?
Yeah.
I cannot overstate how significant it is that we learned last night that they have killed the leader of Tren de Aragua. Tren de Aragua, the violent Venezuelan prison gang, there wasn't a single record in CBP records of a TDA gang member being apprehended in the United States before 2022. But because of President Biden's open, chaotic border, they took a foothold in more than 15 to 19 states across the country, doing trafficking, drug dealing, and of course they were linked to murders. TDA members were the ones that killed Jocelyn Nungre in Texas. Laken Riley's killer, Jose Ibarra, was linked to Tren de Aragua. Here in New York City, they shot two police officers. In a separate incident, they were in that melee we saw. Tren de Aragua was linked to the Colorado apartments that we saw. They became literally worse than MS-13 in this country. President Trump came in with a mandate to eradicate the threat of this country. And now they have killed the leader, Nino Guerrero.
It's so interesting because, of course, you're exactly right. And now I remember just 3 years ago having to learn about Tren de Aragua because it was such a new thing. But tell us about the organization itself. Is the organization itself built so that this leader can be replaced, or is a decapitation like this something that could go to actually destroy the group?
Well, it's certainly become a problem here in the country because of the foothold of the cities that they grabbed and have a stranglehold on that they didn't have before. But to your point, look, this is a gang that was born out of a prison in the state of Aragua, in Tocoron. That's called Tren de Aragua. It's train from Aragua. And that leader had been imprisoned there, but he was working with the president of Venezuela in developing this global transnational criminal organization, and it was in Latin America, but then it got exported into the U.S. because they saw an opportunity to come into America under Biden's border policy.
Man, and you know, it's huge news, obviously, that the leader of TDA was killed, but equally big that this took place in Venezuela.
Yeah.
Because this would not have happened. You could really make a strong case that this man would still be alive if not for our military intervention in Venezuela, which was a very controversial decision that President Trump made earlier this year. And it appears to be paying off in spades when you look at this news that this leader of a terrorist organization was killed there in a partnership. It was a U.S.-Venezuelan partnership to get this guy. You
know, he put his picture up one more time. His alias, you know, all of these guys have nicknames. His alias is El Innombrable, which translates to the unspeakable, because there's gang members and then there's this guy and Tren de Aragua's ruthless violence.
Yeah.
Wow.
And and it's probably obviously we will wait and see what happens to Tren de Aragua, but certainly no one is mourning the loss of a monster like this.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.